prepared to do, but it's also about how he does it. Joe will want to get rid of this guy. Let's see if he can do it.
Joe Joyce, who stopped all but one of his opponents as a professional. He's the second heaviest he's been for a fight, just under 19 stone when he weighed in yesterday. Hammer's lost 3 of his last 5, and his best days are clearly behind him, but he has been in with the likes of Tyson Fury and Lewis, Ortiz, bags of experience. He's been around the block, but whether he can keep Joe Joyce off him is the big question that he's got to answer in there. Joyce, who's back with Ismail Salas for this one. He's prepared for the fight in Las Vegas, and he's out there to prove a point with big fights, he hopes, down the line.
Yeah, that's a good question. You asked whether Hammer can keep Joe Joyce off him and keep him from coming forward. I don't think there's many professional heavyweights in the world today that can do that. He's so tough. Takes too many shots for my liking, and probably for his own liking, and probably for his team's liking, but extremely, extremely tough.
He's got around 4 inches in height on Hammer. He's got the longer reach as well. Hammer's got to make sure he just doesn't get dominated by the Joyce jab and then pay the price for that. Joyce has been landing early and often in this opening round. That's a really good shot from Hammer over the guard and right onto the chin.
Lovely shot.
It shows just how well he can take them, though, Joyce, because that was a peach.
Yeah, lovely shot, and I suppose it landed that clean that some other heavyweights it might have been enough to finish a fight, but he can really take a shot.
Exactly the kind of punches he was receiving and taking when he fought Carlos Takam.
Absolutely. I think this style is just it's got to be so difficult for anyone to fight, because he doesn't stop.
Hammer gets him again. Another looping right over the top of the Joyce guard. That's twice. The 2 best punches in this opening round have both been thrown and landed by Christian Hammer. He's got a granite chin, though, Joe Joyce, and we've seen it twice already.
There's some, I was speaking to a few people close to him, there's some mad statistic that he has like 5 times the average man's bone density. So they described it to me that you could drop him out of a 3-story building and he could walk off unscathed. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds about right when you look at him.
I don't think it's something he wants to test, but I'll take your word for it. There's another shot from Hammer, another great right hand from Christian Hammer, and it just bounces off the chin of Joe Joyce.
The question has to be asked, how often can he take these punches? You know, if that is Deontay Wilder, is he taking that shot? He's got to clean up on his defense a little bit, Joe. The same shot 3 times landed right over the top, hit Joe right flush in the middle of the face. He was able to take them, but that was enough for me to win the round for Hammer.
So Joe Joyce's chin is just fine after a year out. It must be slightly demoralising for a man who lands shots like that, and the fella you're up against doesn't even take a backward step.
Yeah, it's got to be. Joe just walking forward here as well. I'd like to see him throwing that jab a little bit more.
Joyce unloading for the first time. He's had to sit back and watch Tyson Fury beat Dillian White. Usyk beat Joshua. Also saw Daniel Dubois beat Trevor Bryan 3 weeks ago. He's had to be patient, Joe Joyce.
Both guys going to body there.
There's another one.
There's that right hand landing again.
Every time he throws it, he finds the target.
Yeah, it's got to be, and you have to ask the question as well. You know, a clever fighter, if that lands once, if it lands again, it doesn't really land for the 3rd time, never mind the 4th. I'm only 2 rounds into this fight and he's landed 4 of them. He's got to be tighter with his left hand, Joe.
It's not the first time in a fight we've seen him hit with that kind of shot, so it's not something they've been able to put right in the gym as yet.
No, it's the concern you have, though, Fletch, is it just can't be good to be taking these shots so clean all the time. And, you know, people have good punch resistance, but you cannot rely on it all the time.
Anybody who questioned the motivation and ambition of Christian Hammer tonight have had that answered emphatically in the opening round and a half here.
Yeah, and speaking to Frank Warren earlier on, you know, he says that Hammer's team are up for this fight and they feel like they can win it.
So there might be a bit of damage just around the right eye of Christian Hammer. In the corner. Comes out throwing and he landing shots again. His corner very excited just to our right of the success that Hammer's had early in this fight. He's finding Joyce very, very easy to hit. Joyce is relentless though, Carl, and he keeps coming through whatever you've got and eventually breaks you down one way or the other.
And that's the difficulty for a lot of these heavyweights. It's Joe can continue to fight like this, take shots, and to fight at a high pace for 12 rounds. You know, we're 2 rounds into this though, and he's been hit far too often for my liking.
It's been a good old-fashioned tear-up so far between the two of them.
I'm telling you now, Fletch, we're, you know, not even finished round 2 here. Christian Hammer will already be feeling this pace.
That's the end of the second round. Let's have a listen. Fury and beat David Price in what was a shock at the time. He's always been pretty durable.
Trying to look for that right hand again. Joe was a little bit wiser to it that time. Salas was talking about changing the jab, you know, touching with the jab, throwing it hard sometimes, changing the speed, changing the power in it. And I think that's important in this fight. You just need to be careful of that right hand coming over the top. What he's doing here is nice, Fletch with the distance. He's just holding his hand out, just judging him, not letting Hammer get too close.
Trying to let that right hand go behind the jab. Hammer says he's fine, despite the fact the crowd are getting a bit excited on that side. Joyce starting to find his range, got a decent shot through there. Hammer struggling to get off the ropes now. Still smiling, still shaking the head. Joyce trying to raise the tempo a little bit. It's the best round he's had so far. Still feels he can land that right hand over the top, and I think when you know you can land that punch, he is happy to be quite patient, Christian Hammer, knowing that the opportunity's going to come.
Yeah, and the thing is that he's throwing it from the back of the room and he's still landing. Almost landed there. But he's already feeling the pace here.
You can see that he's starting to feel tired. Joyce is relentless. He just keeps ploughing forward. They call him the Juggernaut for a reason.
This is the pressure that he brings, and that's why it's going to be difficult for any single heavyweight on the planet to fight Joyce.
He's the kind of man that grinds you down and breaks your spirit and then finishes you off. Good punch that got through from Hammer, a left hand this time.
Just like to see Joe using the jab a bit more just to get him there. He knows what he wants to do. He knows he needs to get close just to let his hands go. Extremely fit, but the jab needs to be better.
Good body shot in there from Joyce. Hasn't really landed anything cleanly yet, has he?
No, not yet, but he's making Hammer have to work at a very high pace, uncomfortably high pace.
Certainly an entertaining fight for the fans who are in here at Wembley Arena tonight. Hammer's come with a point to prove. Joyce has taken a couple of rounds to get going, and down he goes.
That was exhaustion, Fletch.
He says it was on the back of the head, and he trudges back to his corner. And you can see what he's saying to his...
That Hammer's landed here would have finished a lot of heavyweights because they landed so clean. This guy's still coming forward and forcing the pace. How do you deal with that?
Well, that's how Carl's got it at the moment as they come out for the 4th round, and we'll see how long Christian Hammer can last in there, having been on the canvas right at the end of round 3. Joyce gets back to work as usual.
Landed a good body shot.
Hammer was grimacing and he's down on one knee.
Just 2 rounds ago, that was the shot Salas was calling for.
gets back to his feet with a sharp intake of breath, and Joyce can sense the finish. Hammer's going to throw what he can. Joyce is going to try and break the spirit once and for all. Can't get off the ropes. Hammer throwing punches as best he can to try and catch Joyce coming in.
The last hurrah here, I think, Fletch.
Right hand got through from Joyce. Hammer's down on one knee again, and you wonder how long Victor Loughlin's going to let it go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back up at the count of 9, and he's going to be allowed to continue, but for how much longer? Tries to detonate the big right hand towards Joyce again, who's got him where he wants him. Joyce going in for the finish. Still over a minute and a half to go in round 4. Joyce targeting the body again, shot. And he can't take any more of those. It's all over, and Joyce is back, and Joyce is back with a stoppage victory. Caught with a couple of big shots in the first round, but he broke Christian Hammer down in Joyce style, and he gets the stoppage in the 4th round here at Wembley Arena.
There's not many of them do it like that, Fletch. There's not many of them finish. Heavyweight typically. Don't see a lot of body shot finishes in heavyweight fights. That was, I don't even know if it was a good performance from Joe. I think he stopped him early in the fight. It was the 4th round, but he still get hit a little bit too clean, and that's something they're going to have to keep working on in the gym.
Well, that's win number 14 for the mandatory challenger for the WBO world title. It keeps him on course for a big fight later in the year. How big, we'll wait and see. But tonight was a night that was about avoiding mistakes and getting the victory after almost a year out of the ring. I wonder what he makes of it.
Just have a look at his face. He's literally not out of breath. It's had no effect, this fight, on him, and he can fight non-stop. I remember Joyce. It was a lovely body shot, but I remember Joyce training with him when I was a pro. He was an amateur. Easily do 12 rounds in the pads at a very, very high pace. He's got an unbelievable engine, and that's why he will be a problem for any heavyweight on the planet.
Well, that's the 2nd knockdown, and by that point the spirit was broken, wasn't it, of Christian Hammer?
He just broke his spirit, as you said. He landed some fantastic right hands over the top. Really, really clean. I'm sure they felt nice on Hammer's hand, but then when you have no reaction from Joyce, it's got to be infuriating.
Okay, let's get the official result from MC Thomas Triver.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute, 20 seconds of round number 4. Our referee in charge, Victor Loughlin, waves off the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and still WBO International and WBC Silver.
I've been everywhere.
If Damian Lillard accepted his spot at the end of the bench, he never would have been at the rec center before it opened. If he listened to those who overlooked him, he never would have heard his name called as a first-round pick. And if he let 6 all-star selections go to his head, he never would have had the heart to give back to the streets that shaped him. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
Lemons. Lemons, lemons, lemons. Look how nice they are. The moment you become an Expedia member, you can instantly start saving on your travels. So you can go and seal.
How did you do it so soon where they couldn't?
Well, yeah, it was tough. He was game, and he was, hit me with some good shots early on, which I had to kind of work him out, and then start landing my shots. And he's a tough guy because I hit him with some big ones. So credit to him and his team for coming down out here. What a performance! I enjoyed it so much. It's been a whole year since I've been out, so it's been good to be back again. And yeah, it's exciting. I love it.
You do look happy indeed. As you mentioned, he did catch you with a few big rights, rounds 1 and rounds 2. Does it concern you at all when he gets those kind of shots on you so early on?
It's kind of like when you go in the rain, you have an umbrella, but if you don't, then you probably get wet a little bit. So that's what happens early on until I start getting my defenses up and footwork going and head movement. It's and especially because I haven't fought for so long, I have to warm into the fight a bit. So it seems.
Look, he's been in with the very best in the world. He's been the distance with Sanchez, Ortiz, Povetkin. He's fought with Tyson Fury. What does this win and the way you did it say about where you are in the world heavyweight mix?
Well, I'm top level, ready for the world stage. I'm a proper heavyweight, and I'm fit. I've got engine, I've got a chin, big heart, and big cojones as well. So I'm ready for all comers, and I'm looking to fight possibly the winner of AJ Usyk or maybe Tyson Fury if he comes out. But I'm at that level, and it's a shame that Parker couldn't make it tonight. But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
So let's see what your promoter says about who you're going to be fighting next. 14 fights on his record, 13 stoppages. You know he wants to get out again soon. What do you have in store for him?
He's going to fight on the 24th of September. And we'll be sitting down to talk about opponents. That's when Joe will be out next. He got the cobwebs out of his system, right? And I think the other thing that really, for me, was a worry, the fact he had broken his wrist. I mean, it was a proper snap, so there's no problem with it. We see that. The power was there. He done what he had to do, and they were in a variety of shots. He got caught himself a few times. As he said, I'm glad he found his umbrella at the end, but really a good variety of shots, good body shots, and done what he had to do against a guy who's a tough guy who came to fight. And why it lasted, it was bloody exciting.
Indeed. And look, there are many names being thrown his way. Bob Arum's mentioned Tyson Fury. There's the Daniel Dubois rematch being mentioned. There's Frank Sanchez, all sorts of people. What do you see coming? How do you see this all playing out?
Like I said earlier when we were talking, Joe, it's the 20th of August. Once the rematch happens between Usyk and AJ, then it's all going to shake out. One way or another, it'll all shake out. And obviously, Joe Joyce is very, very much in the mix. I mean, he's the mandatory challenger, and he showed tonight why he is the mandatory challenger.
So let me ask you this now, Joe. If you do get that opportunity to fight the winner of Usyk and Joshua, will you take it next? Would you take it in the next few months? And how do you think that would go for you?